I've never done an IGTV before, so I quite frankly have no idea what I'm doing. But I thought my first one could be behind the scenes of a virtual photo shoot that I'm going to be carrying out today. You would have seen loads of photographers probably around the world doing these as we're all stuck inside, and as a way of being a bit of a creative outlet. So I've arranged to do it with a lovely girl called Sophie, and I am aiming to do it in 3 different ways, which are using my phone, the simple FaceTime app. There's a button you can press and it basically captures the other person. That sounds really weird. On my laptop, using my actual camera, photographing the screen, and then again on my laptop and screenshotting. So yeah, you don't need a lot of tools, to be honest, and even if you're not a photographer and you just fancy doing this, just skip the part out with the actual camera, and just when you're on the phone to your friends and stuff, just like set up some cool poses and play around with makeup and fashion and whatever you like. I think it's a really good way of being creative, and yeah, I'm really excited to get started. So as I said, I've literally got my laptop, my camera, a couple of different lenses so we can be a bit creative, portable charger, and then obviously my phone. So we started the photo shoot using my phone and the FaceTime feature. So as you can see, that little white circle I'm pressing to actually capture the FaceTime photo. Now, I don't know if you've noticed, but in the top left corner, it's really, really bright. So that was one of the biggest issues we faced and came across. So to try and combat that, I tried to get Sophie to position her head in the way of the light so we couldn't see it, because I actually found it quite distracting. So yeah, that was the first issue we had, but I feel like we managed with it quite well. So we then moved on into a different room, and I really wanted to use as many props as possible and as many kind of chunky jewellery. I really liked the idea of getting the model to hold the mirror and looking through the mirror back at the camera. I feel like it gave a really cool effect. As you can see, it's quite pixelated on my screen, so I did have to keep checking to make sure that they were coming through a lot clearer than I could see. I think it was just an issue we were having from Wi-Fi. But yeah, I really liked the look of this, and I was really pleased with how this came out. After photographing through my phone, we then moved on to my laptop, and I started off doing the screenshotting. This worked quite well, and I was actually quite impressed with the results. After that, we then moved on to using my actual professional camera. I was using my Nikon D850 with my 24-120 lens. I was quite concerned that it was because of how good the camera details are nowadays. I was a bit concerned that it was going to pick up really weird kind of effects from the screen, but it worked out all right. And again, I was pleased with the results. However, I think my favourite way of shooting was probably through the phone, using the FaceTime white button feature. To me, I think that just worked the best, and it was so easy. When it came to the actual editing of the images, I wanted to keep things as in phone as possible, considering the majority of the shoot had taken place within my phone. I also wanted to show just how easy it is for non-professional photographers to get really cool effects with their photos, just by using simple apps that can be found on the App Store. So the app I used for the editing of these images was Colourtone by a photographer in Australia named Bonnie C, and it's so simple to use. So to start with, you open the app and you scroll down and find the images that you want to start editing. This took me a while because, as you can see, we took a lot. So you find the one that you want, and then you open it, and within the free app there's quite a lot of free filters for you to use. You can purchase some, but I just stick to the free ones for now, because within those I then go in and do my own adjustments. So I like to use the Palm Beach one. I use that for pretty much all my photos now whenever I do an edit on my phone. As you can see, I'm going through adjusting certain things. I find adding grain to the photos that I've taken really helps, because you do tend to get a kind of blurry, not as focused effect when you're photographing through your phone. So the grain, I feel like, minimises that look, and I just really like the effect that it gives. I then decided to put a filter on it just to give some kind of light flare. Again, I thought it worked really well. You don't have to do this, but I just liked it for this particular photo. You can then go and save the preset, so the one that you've just created, and then it's so simple. If you want to then copy and paste them onto all the others, you just click the photos you want, go into each one, and then click the filter that you've saved it. I then exported it to my camera roll, found it in my photos and then cropped it. It was quite large because I'd photographed it again through FaceTime, so I just cropped it to a size that I thought was better, specifically for Instagram. And then, yeah, that was the editing done. I also just want to add that when you're shooting through FaceTime, it actually saves the photo to your camera roll as a live. This is actually really handy, and you can use it to your advantage because you can then go through and select the frame that you want to use as the final image. So it gives you a lot of kind of freedom and choice when it comes to choosing the image that you want to choose from. So yeah, just a heads up, it saves as a live, and I think it's great. So these are the finished photos. I'm really impressed with how they've come out. I feel like Sophie did such a good job. We'd never actually met in person, so the first time we met was over FaceTime, and it worked so well. So the black and white photos that you've seen were shot through my camera looking at the screen, and then the coloured ones are a mixture of my phone screenshotting or my laptop screenshotting. But yeah, let me know what you think.